When I bought my first house, I walked into a local bank. I got pre-approved, subsequently went under contract. They offered me a loan, and that was it. I signed it, and that was the end of story. I felt like I was getting pushed through a conveyor belt. There was never once any kind of stopping point to talk about loan options, what mortgage insurance was, the differences between conventional and FHA loans, how to negotiate the contract. There was no assistance. It was just, here you go, thank you, next. And that is the exact kind of experience that I do not want for any of our clients. With us, it's never about here's your loan, sign it, and move on. We're always going to take time to stop and peel back some of these layers and make sure that we are beginning this journey of purchasing a home with education. We want you to understand market dynamics. We want you to know the differences between property tax rates in different areas of town. We want you to have negotiation strategies about whether or not we're offering full price and getting seller credits back and what we would potentially use them for. Conversations like buying down the rate and break-even points. We want to make sure that by the time our clients head out to start shopping, that they have a full understanding of the options that they have at hand, best case scenarios, worst case scenarios, and have an understanding mostly of making sure that they're looking for a house that's not just beautiful, that is, has a backyard that you've always dreamed of, but that financially is going to protect the client, that is going to deliver to the client the kind of responsibility that they're prepared to have and to keep. Because a mortgage, as you already know, is going to be one of the largest purchases of your life. And we want to make sure that it's done right. The goal is really simple to me. I want to provide the education and the information my clients need to make the best possible decisions about their future. And your future isn't just the purchase. It's planning for way down the road. What is the likelihood that I'm going to hold this property for 30 years or 15 years or 10 or 5? And how does that impact the way that we approach this particular purchase? Because you don't want to just look at, I want to buy this house and this is all I'm focused on. You need to have a long-term perspective to make sure that the decisions you're making today are the ones that make sense 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years down the road. That's what we're here for. Now, if you've been shopping around for a mortgage, I'm sure you've noticed there is no shortage of lenders out there. And oftentimes you're going to see them talking about how they have the lowest rates or they have the fastest approval or the lowest closing costs and yada, 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 yada. And the truth is that that is the worst place to start with the client. Because what we want to do, or at least what I want to do with all of my clients, is make sure that we're setting realistic expectations about the purchase. Both the best case scenario and the worst case scenario are possible. And there's only so many things that a lender can control. So we take the approach instead of planning and preparing so that we can empower our clients to make the right decisions and that the financing for the loan turns out precisely how they wanted it to look because they understood market dynamics. They understood property taxes in particular areas. They planned for when was the right time to lock their interest rate or whether they should even buy down points based off of a break-even point. Those are the kinds of things that you should be looking for, not empty promises. So as you continue doing your research, maybe looking for lenders online via Zillow or whatever other system you're using that has somehow led you to us, I want you to know about 3 things. And those are our core values: honesty, integrity, and accountability. They are important, and you should look to understand what value system your lenders use because it isn't just about the numbers. And if you are leading with that, if what you're looking for is someone that is promising you the lowest, everything, you're going to find yourself in a really bad spot. I can almost guarantee that. So let me tell you a little bit about what we stand for. Number 1 is honesty. And to me, honesty starts with making sure that we are setting up our clients to understand the best and worst of what can happen in real estate. Sometimes having those conversations is not great for sales, right? People don't want to hear about the worst case scenario all the time. They want to hear about how everything is going to be perfect. But unfortunately, there are lots of aspects of a real estate transaction that a lender cannot control. And so what we try to do is help clients understand These are the things that we can control. These are the things that you can control. This is a bad or worst case scenario of what can happen when things go, horribly wrong. But also let's talk about how between the three of us, myself as a lender, your realtor, and you as a client, how do we walk closer to an ideal situation? How do we approach the purchase making sure that all of these horrible things that could happen don't happen because we've planned for them and prepared for them? So honesty is about having those kinds of conversations with our clients so that they understand what the reality is behind it. It's not a shoot first, ask questions later that most lenders take, which is here's your pre-approval, just go shop, find us a house, go under contract so that we can lock this loan and close a deal. That is usually the approach for a lender. And we are not about that life. We want to make sure and sit down and have an honest, transparent conversation about how all of this works so that we can set you up in the best possible way for success. When it comes to integrity, albeit slightly similar to that of honesty, I do feel like there's something slightly different here. And what I want our clients to know is that we're always going to do what is right, even if it is not the most profitable. Our concern and my concern is my client's success. We don't have crazy Super Bowl commercials and we're not advertising, on Facebook and everywhere, like crazy and just trying to make this about volume. We're taking a customized approach with every one of our clients and are trying to build a relationship with them that is going to last for years. And so everything that we do is based around the idea that we have to do what is right for our clients always, even if it's not in our best interest as a lender, even if sometimes we're going to suffer or lose because of it. We always want to make sure that our clients are guided in the right direction. And last but not least is accountability. And accountability is kind of a weird one that people don't really think about and realize. A lender's number one job should be protecting their clients. Well, if the loan falls apart because that lender didn't do the right job of making sure that they verified your income and your assets and your credit, if they didn't give you a genuinely legitimate pre-approval and you go under contract and then the deal falls apart, you could be at risk of losing lots of money. The seller gets to keep your earnest money. They get to keep your option money. You might have already spent money on an appraisal and an inspection. We're talking thousands of dollars of trust that you place in your lender. And when it comes to accountability, I want my clients to know, one, we have rock solid pre-approvals. We have never lost a deal ever. We have a 100% close rate. But it's because of the process that we use to make sure that when we pre-approve someone, they're going to close. Now, in the event that something like that were to happen, where we lost a deal because we didn't do the right job, we didn't verify their income or their assets, we didn't really truly have a pre-approval, one, that would never happen, but two, we would be accountable. It is very common when loans hit a snag for lenders to just wash their hands of it and pass the blame on to somebody else. Or it was this person's fault or that person's fault, and they are gone. They disappear because there's nothing that really holds them liable for the mistakes and the errors that they make. That's why accountability matters to me, is because I want my clients to know, I want you to know that if we ever did something like that, we would be there. We would have your back and make sure, one, focus on solutions, two, do everything we possibly can, whether it's changing loan types or talking to the listing agent and the seller, getting everyone on the same page, because sometimes you have to make quick decisions to make changes and get the loan to close. If for whatever reason that were to happen, that were not to work out, I want you to know that your earnest money, I will always pay that back. There's not a chance that I would ever let my clients lose their money because they placed their trust in us. Absolutely would never happen. And with all that being said, I understand that talk is cheap. So how can you trust the things that I just mentioned in this video? Well, trust our process, look into our process, look at our reviews, and understand that I'm not just saying that we've got a long-term perspective. It is built into our process. Post-closing, we do two biannual reviews every single year. One of them is to look at the appraisal values that the counties are releasing that tell us what we can expect your property taxes to be at the end of the year. We do that because we don't want our clients to have any unexpected surprises. And we can't control the county, but we can stay on top of things like that to make sure that if there is going to be a change to your payment, that you know way ahead of time. Those check-ins also give us the opportunity to talk to you about what your plans might be. Maybe you're thinking about selling the house and moving into a big one. Maybe you're thinking about refinancing. Maybe, you are wanting to buy an investment property. Who knows, right? We are going to be together as client and lender for a very long time, and our process is set up that way. And so the purchase, albeit very important, is just the beginning of a long-standing relationship with us. It's built in and you can count on it. It's dependable, it's repeatable, it's efficient. We spent a lot of time putting it together for our clients, and we know that you're going to benefit from it. So if you're looking for a lender right now, if you're a kind of person that values transparency, if you want someone to go over, the options, both best case and worst case scenario, if you want a legit consultant to sit down with you and plan this purchase for you, you deserve that. And you found it. Please do not hesitate to reach out and give us a call. We're looking forward to the opportunity. Best of luck to you no matter what. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Talk to you soon.